Hello, and welcome to the Crypto Hotline, your one and only crypto hotline in the entire world. So, in this live stream, we are going to cover some of the best cold wallet deals for this Labor Day week. I don't think all the wallet brands got the memo that they should be doing sales, but there are a couple of my favorite brands that are having some massive sales. Really, the best deals that they're offering it this week, which I'm going to share with you. Also, break down some of the features of the wallets and explain, who these wallets might best be for. And of course, as always, on the Crypto Hotline, I'm here to answer any of your questions. It doesn't have to be related to anything that we're talking about necessarily. It doesn't have to be related to the deals. But if you have any questions about crypto security, cold wallets, crypto wallets, exchanges, anything like that, go ahead, drop them in the comments, and we'll get to it. So we can take a quick look at the market today. Here at the top of the screen, ETH is down 1%, Sol is up a little bit, XRP is up a little bit. I think ADA is probably up a little bit, and Bitcoin is slightly up. So nothing too crazy, nothing to get too excited about. That said, next month is October, so there's no better time to secure your crypto than right now. And get your crypto off exchanges and into a cold wallet, because things could get crazy. That said, I want to get right into the deals. Again, if you don't want to take advantage of any deals today, that's okay. I'll tell you right now that most cold wallet manufacturers, just like any brand, they generally have their deals around the holiday seasons. So it's like, if you can't take advantage of it today, that's okay. There will always be another sale another time. But I will tell you from what I've seen and from past sales, these deals that I'm about to show you really are the best deals that these brands offer. I don't really ever see any better deals. So the first one, which I already posted about, is Tangem. And their sale is 20% off of everything. And this goes till September 7th. By the way, all of these deals, the links to these deals are in the description of this video. So if you want to go check them out, definitely go tap the links and check out the deals. But Tangem is the first deal. So usually with my code CYBERSCRILLA, you get 10% off, and that's year round. Right now, they're having a deal if you use two codes, which is CYBERSCRILLA and Labor Day. You just enter both of those codes. You can stack them. You get 20% off your entire order. But for those of you who don't know, which is probably all of you already know, Tangem is one of the best cold wallets for beginners. If you're new to cold wallets, or if you're looking to get a cold wallet for one of your friends or family who's just getting into crypto, Tangem is probably your best option. It is the most user-friendly wallet on the market. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes to set up, even if you've never done it before. And the only thing you need to use it is a phone, specifically an iOS or Android mobile device that has full NFC capabilities, which is most phones on the market today. I have heard and seen some comments from people who say that Tangem doesn't work with the newer iPhones, which is completely false. I have an iPhone 15 Pro, for example, and it works with the Tangem wallet. I also have an old iPhone 7 Plus, and it works just fine with the 7 Plus. So I just wanted to point that out. Also, it is the most discreet wallet on the market. There's really no other wallet that looks like Tangem. Especially, I want to show you this one. This is the Stealth Tangem wallet. And notice that there's no branding on it. It's literally just a black card. This one, everything again is included in the sale. So if you wanted to pick up a Stealth wallet, you can get a 3-pack, and it comes with 2 blank cards and 1 branded card, which just has the Tangem logo on it. This is by far my favorite design, just because there's nothing on it. So yeah. And as far as like features go, Tangem is probably, in my opinion, the most innovative wallet brand. They're always adding new features that people actually want, and that's why I like Tangem. Aside from being the most user-friendly, they actually listen to what their customers want, which is huge in any industry, right? And for any brand. But just like most cold wallets, you can buy, sell, and swap and stake crypto natively in the Tangem app. So you don't need to look externally to do any of that stuff. I will say that I'm personally not a fan of swapping crypto, or not swapping, sorry, buying and selling crypto in the Tangem app, only because the exchanges that they partner with, they have higher fees than if you were to just do it on your own, like preferred crypto exchange like Kraken or crypto.com or something. However, I have found that the swap feature is good. I do use a swap feature, and fees are comparable as using something like Kraken. And staking, they offer good staking rewards as well if staking is something you're interested in doing. Another thing that you can do with Tangem is you can set it up with or without a seed phrase. Some people, they don't want to have to manage a seed phrase. They don't want to have to keep track of 12 to 24 words. So they just choose not to use a seed phrase. And if you choose that option, the keys are stored on the card. And that's why Tangem comes in either a 2 or a 3 pack, because each card is your backup. Each card is the same wallet as well. They're not different wallets. They're all the same wallet. So you can use any card to transact. But if you want to set it up with a seed phrase, like I prefer to do, I like to know the keys to my wallet, then you can set up a 12 or a 24 word seed phrase with Tangem as well. Tangem also uses the industry standard, or what I consider the industry standard, EAL6 plus secure element chip, which is really the highest rated secure chip that you'll find in any hardware wallet. There's no other chips that have a higher rating, at least in the hardware wallet industry. And really all this is a chip that's immune to both physical and remote attacks. So things like malware or brute force attacks. And it's the same kind of chip that's used in the banking industry for your credit card and your debit card. Also, it's used in some military applications, and it has been hardened over decades, which it just means it's been made more secure. It's been around. Secure chips aren't new technology; they've been around for decades, and that's one reason why they're so secure. Also, all Tangem wallets are protected by an access code. And the access code is something that's unique to Tangem. So it doesn't apply to any other wallet. It only applies to your cards. The access code is basically a password that you create to access your card. So when you go to make a transaction, for example, you'd have to enter whatever your access code that you'd set up. And the access code can, as far as I know, be as long as you want. And you can use a combination of both numbers and letters to create your access code, which is pretty unique to Tangem, because a lot of wallets just let you set up a PIN code with just numbers. So I do like that. And also, if you saw my most recent video about Tangem's new update, if you haven't seen that video, I posted it, I think it was 2 videos ago. Definitely go watch it after this live stream. They have added a bunch of new features to help users, especially beginners, detect scams and things like that. So if you use your Tangem wallet to connect to like external websites to sign a transaction, whether you're like mining crypto or claiming an airdrop or something, it does have a built-in scam protection that will tell you, as best as it can, that the website could be malicious, or the transaction you're signing could be malicious, and it tells you this so that you know potentially what you're up against before you sign any transaction. And again, this is new to the Tangem wallet, which is huge. They are trying to make it the most user-friendly wallet, and things like the scam detection feature is really a huge thing in my opinion. And yeah, if you have any comments, remember you can feel free to drop them in the chat. This is the crypto hotline, the one and only crypto hotline in the entire world. I answer all of your questions live on air after we go through these deals. I'll be happy to answer your questions. So again, just covering the deal. Let me make this bigger for you. You can get 20% off your entire Tangem wallet order. Enter the 2 codes at checkout or on the purchase page, CYBERSCRILLA and Labor Day. That'll get you 20% off. So that makes a 2-pack. You get 2 Tangem cards, which remember is 1 wallet. 2 Tangem cards, only $43, or a 3-pack for $55. It is the most affordable cold wallet on the market. Or something that I don't talk about too often, but I probably should, is the Tangem ring. This right here on my finger is literally a cold wallet. Um, this, is used to secure my crypto, and they do sell the Tangem ring in various sizes, just in this one color. There's no branding on it. There is a small Tangem logo on the inside of the ring, but it's basically impossible to see, especially on camera. You'd have to basically know to look for it. But the Tangem ring, it works exactly the same as the Tangem cards. And when you order the ring, you get one ring and two cards. And again, if you live an active lifestyle, or if you just travel for work or travel for recreation, by far the Tangem ring is the best wallet for traveling. Or if you don't want to get the ring, if you don't want to, spend that money, then I would say the cards are the next best thing. I have traveled to several countries with my Tangem wallet, and I've never had an issue. All Tangem wallets are also they're immune to EMPs. They're immune to electrostatic discharge, X-ray machines. They're also IP68 rated, so they are waterproof and resistant to extreme temperatures, both hot and cold. By far the most durable wallet on the market as well. And again, the links and details to all these deals are in the description of this live stream if you want to take advantage of them. And I think that's it for Tangem. Again, it's 20% off their entire website. And it's a great deal. They don't usually do anything better than 20% off. I believe in the past I want to say they did 30% off. I think that's probably the best deal they do. But I also forgot to mention, if your order is more than $89, so basically if you order like 2-3 packs or the ring, you get free shipping as well. Okay. Now, like I said, I think a lot of cold wallet brands missed the memo that Labor Day week is a good time to do sales. Now, this next manufacturer, this next wallet brand, again, is one of my favorite brands that I also recommend to beginners. And this isn't their Labor Day sale, but it is their back to school sale, which is kind of funny. It's all the same week, right? So it doesn't matter. But that is Ledger. Now, Ledger has 4 different models of wallets, and I'm going to go over all of them, break down the differences, not just in pricing and what you get, but also the differences in all of their features. That way you can choose the right one if this is one that you're interested in. But basically, Ledger's deal is that you get up to $80 in free Bitcoin. And the way that works for the people who've never done it is you get when you get your Ledger wallet in the mail, it comes with a physical voucher, and basically it'll be a QR code, and you'll scan that QR code and you'll be able to claim it in the Ledger Live app, which is the app that you use to manage your Ledger wallet. And then after 30 days, the Bitcoin will be available to claim in the Ledger Live app, and it'll just be in your Ledger wallet. And it's probably one of the best deals. Ledger never does discounts. They don't do, well, I shouldn't say never, but maybe once a year they'll do an actual like percentage off their wallets. But in my opinion, the better deal is getting free Bitcoin, because Bitcoin can go up in value. So I like it. That said, Ledger, it is a good wallet for beginners, specifically the Ledger Flex and Ledger Stacks, which again, I'll cover. This one, this is the Ledger Flex model. This is my favorite Ledger Flex wallet. But specifically the Ledger Flex and Ledger Stacks models are my favorite for beginners, because when you set up the wallet, it does kind of walk you through everything you're doing, but it doesn't just walk you through it. It also tells you why you're doing it. So it is good for beginners. It also is desktop and mobile compatible. I forgot to mention with Tangem, the other wallet deal, this is a mobile only wallet, or maybe I did say that. It only works with iOS and Android mobile devices, whereas most Ledger wallets, at least 3 of the models, are considered desktop and mobile compatible. So you can literally set it up on your phone or your computer. You can manage all your crypto on both your phone and your computer. And you can even do firmware updates on either your phone or your computer. So you have a lot of compatibility options there. Like I said, there's 4 models to choose from, which I'm going to go over. The Ledger Nano S Plus, not to get confused with the old Ledger Nano S that they don't release updates for anymore. The Ledger Nano S Plus is the Ledger Nano S's replacement. But there's the Ledger Nano S Plus, that's the entry level wallet, the Ledger Nano X, which was the first hardware wallet I ever bought back in 2020, the Ledger Flex, and the Ledger Stacks. And Ledger is an OG company. They have been around since 2014. They've been through a lot and they've seen a lot. The cool thing about Ledger that most people don't know as well is that they have their own security team called the Ledger Donjon, which means dungeon in French. And it's basically a dedicated team of white hat hackers, which are good hackers. And they have unlimited resources, unlimited money, unlimited time, and unlimited tools. And they just spend all their days trying to specifically hack Ledger wallets to make them more secure, to find any vulnerabilities. But they've also helped brands like Trezor, Tangem, Coldcard. They have found vulnerabilities in all of their wallets. And then they privately communicate those vulnerabilities to those companies so that they can fix them. And yeah, that's kind of what the team does. And I just think it's really cool that they have an internal security team that a lot of other companies rely on as well, or at least have used to make their wallets more secure. Similar to Tangem, it does have a lot of the same features. Any Ledger wallet will have these features. You can buy, sell, swap, and stake natively in the Ledger Live app. Something that's unique to all Ledger wallets, all models have this, is a secure screen. So with I'd say with most hardware wallets, the screen is usually connected to a general purpose chip. This would be the same kind of chip that you would find in like your remote control, like even this remote control, or like your toaster oven. And the main function of that chip is really just to show you to basically display your screen, right? The problem is that chip can become a vulnerability since it's not a dedicated secure chip. It could be a vulnerability because, if someone who knew what they were doing had the tools to do it, they can maybe inject some kind of malicious code or something into that chip. And, something bad could come from that. Now, what Ledger has done is they've taken their EAL6 Plus secure chip, which is that same chip I told you about in Tangem. It's the most secure chip that's on the market. And what they've done is actually have connected that chip basically directly to the screen. That way there can be no one coming in between the screen and the chip. So it is probably the most secure signing device on the market. That said, Ledger is also on one of the only wallets that has clear signing. And what clear signing is it's the opposite of blind signing. And blind signing is when you sign crypto transactions without knowing the full details. This could be because the transaction details are in like cryptographic code that 99% of users, like, I don't know how to read that, or just doesn't display it like in a human readable format. So what Tangent wallets do is it does display it in a human readable format. So you know exactly what you're signing before you sign it, which is huge to help you not sign a malicious transaction. And then, like I said, it has the EAL6 Plus secure element chip, which again is the industry standard in my opinion. And excuse me, I need to get a drink real quick. But yeah, a lot of people think that Ledger is not open source, which is actually false. Ledger is 95% open source, so they're basically everything is open source. The only thing that's not open source is the EAL6 Plus secure element chip and some of the low-level code that is basically used to talk to the wallet from the chip. And the reason that code is closed source, meaning it's kept private to the company, is because a lot of these chip manufacturers make these hardware wallet manufacturers sign non-disclosure agreements because these chips are used in many applications. Like I said, they're used in all these bank cards around the world, and exposing that code could lead to other companies taking it and using it for their own products. And again, they've spent decades building this code and making sure that it's secure. So it's really a way to protect their IP and make sure the chip is secure. But other than that, everything else is open source, including Ledger Live. It's 100% open source, which is super cool. Okay, so this is just a little breakdown of kind of what you get with each wallet. Again, the link to this deal is in the bio or in the description of this video. Because there's no discount code to enter with Ledger. You just have to tap the link that I have in the description, and it'll take you to the website, and you can see all these deals and obviously get your deal. So the Ledger Nano S Plus, which I do have all these wallets, and I've used all of them. But the Ledger Nano S Plus, and I'll show you what it looks like here in person. So this is Ledger's entry-level wallet. You can see how small it is. It's got 2 buttons here on the top, and this is to navigate the entire device. And then it closes up and kind of looks like a little USB stick. Then we have the Ledger Nano X. This exact one that I'm holding is the first hardware wallet that I ever bought back in 2020. It still works today. The battery has taken a crap, but I can still use it plugged into my devices. This one has the buttons on the front. So a slightly larger screen than the S Plus. Excuse me. I'm just getting over a cold, so I'm still a little congested. But anyways, well, slightly larger than the Nano S Plus. Here's the 2 next to each other, and the buttons are on the front of this one. Then we have the Ledger Flex. This is a touchscreen wallet. You can power it on. And that's what it looks like powered on. And the Ledger stacks, I have tucked away right now in a secure location, so I can't show you my stacks, but it is here on the screen, and it is similar to the Flex, but a slightly larger touchscreen. But here's the deals and the prices, what you're looking at. If you buy a Ledger Nano S Plus, which, by the way, they just permanently lowered the price on the Nano S Plus. It's only $59 right now, or, permanently. And you get $10 in free Bitcoin if you buy an S Plus. The Ledger Nano X, $149. You get $50 in free Bitcoin. The Ledger Flex, which again is my personal favorite Ledger wallet, is $249. You get $70 in free Bitcoin. And then you have the Ledger Stacks, which is their most premium wallet. Very similar to the Ledger Flex, though, which I'll break down here in a second. And with that one, you get $80 in free Bitcoin. Which again is an awesome deal. Okay, so I made this little list. The green text is kind of what changes or what's added with each model. Let me enlarge this here. Okay, so the Ledger Nano S Plus. Now, I want to make one thing clear before I get into this. All Ledger models from the S Plus, which is only $59, up to the Ledger Stacks, which is $399, they're all equally secure. So just because, if you want to buy the Nano S Plus, doesn't mean you're getting a less secure wallet. You're just getting less features and obviously a different design, but they're all equally secure. So you're not sacrificing security if you want to go with a more affordable option. So I just want to make that clear. That said, the Nano S Plus comes with the EAL6 Plus secure element chip. It also comes with the secure screen, and it also has clear signing. Now, the one thing that the Nano S Plus doesn't have that all the other wallets has, or I should say the 2 things, is a battery. So the Nano S Plus, you can only use it plugged in. So it really is best used on a desktop device. It comes with a USB-C cable that you'll plug in and use it. But also, if you're looking for a wallet that doesn't have a battery that you don't have to charge or worry about the battery failing, then you would want the Nano S Plus. And then it also doesn't have Bluetooth, which is how all the other models communicate with your mobile phone. And that's why I say it's mainly a desktop wallet without a battery or Bluetooth. And that's why it is heavily discounted. That said, if you want the same design and form factor as the Nano S Plus, but you want to be able to use it on your mobile device and you want to be able to use it on the go, that would be the Nano X. It has all the same things as the S Plus, but it comes with a rechargeable lithium-ion battery as well as Bluetooth, so you can connect it to your iOS or Android mobile device. And then the Ledger Flex is where things really take a step up, and this is Ledger's newest wallet. Technically, the Stacks was created before the Flex, but the Flex came out. Anyways, the Flex is their newest wallet. It's my personal favorite. It's the sweet spot right in the middle. It comes with everything that the Nano X comes with, except it has a 2.84-inch touchscreen, and this is an e-ink touchscreen. And I'll bring it up here again so you can see. It's like the same thing that you would see on a Kindle. So it's a paper. It's like a paper display. Now there is one pro and one con to these paper displays, or the e-ink displays, and that is that it doesn't have a backlight. So you do need to use it, in a decently lit room to see the screen. So if you're trying to use it in a dark room, obviously you can't see the screen. But the cool thing about the e-ink screens is that they're way more energy efficient. So, I haven't charged my Ledger Flex for several months, and it still has, I don't know, basically a full battery. Obviously, I don't use it every day, but any other wallets that that I own that have a touchscreen, that have a backlight, you can watch the battery drain as you use it. That doesn't happen with the Ledger Flex because of its e-ink touchscreen. Another thing that the Flex has is NFC, or near field communication, which is the same kind of technology that the Tangem card uses, as well as, your phone has NFC capabilities, obviously. And you can use the NFC on your Ledger wallet. There is something called the security key app, which is available on all the Ledger models, but it's nice with the Ledger Flex. And a security key app is, you can set up your Ledger wallet device as a sort of 2FA for various websites, like whether you use something like Gmail or certain crypto exchange accounts. You can actually use your Ledger wallet as a 2FA signing device. So it doesn't just secure your crypto, but it can secure your login information to other websites, which is really cool. Now, here's the newest thing that Ledger released that now comes with both the Ledger Flex and Stacks models, because those are the only two models that have NFC. And I did make a video on this if you want to learn more about it. But this is Ledger's newest product. This is the Ledger Recovery Key, and I'm going to go over this in a second, but I just want to show you kind of what it looks like. It is this is like a debit card material. It's pretty durable. But this does have NFC as well, and this communicates directly with your wallet. So basically, you just hold it up to the back like this, and it'll scan it. And I'll show you exactly what this is for in a second. But both the Ledger Flex and Ledger Stacks wallets come with that recovery key for free. Then we move on to the Ledger Stacks, and the only difference that you'll see with the Stacks, which is why I prefer the Flex to save $150, is you get a larger 3.7-inch touchscreen, and that screen actually curves around the side of the wallet, which is really cool. Not necessary in my opinion, but it is cool if you're into that. And then the Ledger Stacks also has wireless charging. It doesn't come with a wireless charger, but if you have a wireless charger at home, or if you want to buy one, then you can do that. To me, it's not really worth the extra $150, and that's why I say I think the Flex is the best model that they offer. It's just my opinion. But like I said, both of those come with the Ledger Recovery Key, which is what I just showed you. So if you buy the Ledger Recovery Key on its own, it's $40. But like I said, every wallet now every Flex and Stacks wallet comes with one recovery key, and you don't have to add it to the cart or anything. It's just included in the box now when you open up your wallet. So you don't need to add it to your cart or anything like that. And the Ledger the Ledger Recovery Key is offline key recovery storage. So once you set up your wallet with your seed phrase, you can actually back up your seed phrase on the card by holding it to the back of your Ledger Flex or Stacks wallet, and it securely transfers your key to the card. And that way, if you ever need to recover your Ledger wallet, you don't have to pull out your seed phrase, which could be a security risk. Obviously, you don't want to expose your seed phrase to anyone. And maybe your seed phrase is like tucked far away or stored in a different location. The recovery key card lets you simply recover your wallet by holding it up to your wallet and then entering the PIN code that you set up for your recovery key. Now, to be clear, when I made the recovery key review video, a lot of people would say I would never replace my seed phrase with a card like this, which a lot of people do when they use Tangem, but that's besides the point. This isn't a replacement for your seed phrase. It's an additional backup. It's a secure backup and it's a convenient backup. So I still have my seed phrase like written down, stored on a piece of metal, but now I have it on the Ledger recovery key as well, which makes it way quicker and way more convenient to recover your Ledger wallet. And again, you set up your own PIN code for the Ledger recovery key, so no one can just pick it up and access your key. And after 3 failed attempts, it essentially self-destructs and it erases the key from your card. And then you would have to basically put the key back on the card if you wanted to use it again. So there's no risk of a brute force attack because you only get 3 attempts. And again, after 3 attempts, the card wipes itself clear and it is PIN protected. So yeah, I think the Ledger Flex and Stacks are the biggest value wallets. Not only because it comes with the $70 or $80 in free Bitcoin, but it also comes with this Ledger recovery key, which is $40, and it's really convenient. So that's what I would say about that. Again, all the links to these deals are in the description. Also in the description of this video, I included 2 other videos you can watch later. Open it up in your browser right now. One is my Tangem wallet review. It's my 2-year review. So after using it for 2 years, everything I think about it. And the other one is a video where I compare every single Ledger wallet model with each other. So if you want more details and like a side-by-side comparison of the Nano S Plus, the Nano X, the Flex, and the Stacks, then that's the video that you want to watch. And again, I have links to all these deals and all these videos, including this live stream, if you end up wanting to take advantage of that. And that's it. That's all the deals that I could find. That's all the deal that I could find when it comes to cold wallets. I was expecting to see more deals from at least some of the bigger brands like Trezor or OneKey. But yeah, I searched and I didn't see anything. They never reached out to me to tell me about deals. I just learned about these deals yesterday. So sometimes I don't get a big heads up for a lot of these deals. Sometimes they'll just message me the day before and say, hey, this is going live tomorrow. And basically you can't tell anyone until it's live. And so here we are. That said, this is the one and only crypto hotline, and I am here to answer all of your questions. It doesn't have to be related to these deals. If you have any questions about using your cold wallet, if you need help picking the right cold wallet for you, really anything related to the fundamentals of crypto, I'm happy to try to help you and answer your questions. If I don't know, if I don't have an answer for you, then I'll just tell you I don't know. That's kind of how we operate here. The one thing that I don't do is I won't give you investment advice. I won't tell you what coins to buy. I won't tell you what coins I hold or anything like that. Price predictions, I don't do any of that. So if that's what you're here for, you can leave now because you're not going to get that. Okay, so I'm going to head over to the chat here and see what we got. Happy Tuesday from Silicon Valley. Thank you very much, sir. You have been in all of my live streams lately, so I do appreciate you. And happy Tuesday. Leonardo says, what long-term holds do you recommend? If you're talking about crypto, I can't help you with that. I suggest doing your own research, finding your own conviction plays, and don't ask YouTubers or influencers or random people on Reddit for investment advice. That's my best advice. Hot Rod 66 says, what's up, Skrilla? What's going on, Hot Rod? Now, do you actually own a hot rod, or is that just what they called you in high school? That's what I'm curious to know. Is Tangem open source? Tangem, so the Tangem app, which is how you manage your Tangem card, the Tangem app is 100% open source. You can view all of its code on GitHub. As far as the firmware, and that's the secure element chip, like I talked about with Ledger, it is closed source, and for many of the same reasons. They sign a non-disclosure agreement. The secure chip in the Tangem wallets are actually designed and manufactured by Samsung. So it's not Tangem's own chip, just like the chip in the Ledger wallets is designed by ST Microelectronics. It's not their own chip. They use tested and hardened chips from other manufacturers who have been doing this for decades. So yeah, Tangem is partially open source, really just the app, but not the secure chip or their firmware. Lorna, happy to see you in this live stream again. Says, I'm a beginner and going to purchase my first cold wallet with Tangem cards. How would you retrieve your crypto without a seed phrase if lost or stolen or damaged? So Lorna, a couple things. So if you have your seed phrase, but then you lose it, you lost the key to your wallet. That said, as long as you still have access to your wallet, you'll still be able to access your crypto. The seed phrase is only used to recover your crypto, like if you lose your physical hardware wallet or it's damaged or something like that. That's really the only time you would use your seed phrase to recover your wallet. But if you actually lost your seed phrase, but you still had access to your wallet, you can still access your crypto. Now, what you would have to do, since there's not a way to display your seed phrase after you generate it with Tangem, is you'd have to probably send your crypto to a different wallet temporarily, like a hot wallet, or send it to a crypto exchange, and then factory reset your Tangem cards, which you can do in the settings, and then basically set them up again and generate a new seed phrase before you transfer your crypto back to your wallet. That way, you have your key to your wallet again. Now, that said, if you lose both your seed phrase and you lost your wallet, it's game over. There's no way to access your crypto if that happens. So that's why securing your seed phrase and storing it safely is the most important thing you can do when it comes to self-custody and crypto. That said, the cool thing about seed phrases is you can make as many copies of them as you want. Now, obviously, there's a risk with doing this. You don't want to make so many copies that every corner of your house has a seed phrase that someone's going to find. But you aren't limited to just one seed phrase. You can create record your seed phrase as many times as you want, store them in a few separate secure locations, and that way, if you lose one, hopefully you still have some backups. Hopefully that answered your question. And yes, that was a good question. Thank you. The Talking Toucan says, can I connect my Ledger Live directly to a DEX, or should I do it via MetaMask? I know I shouldn't be interacting with the DEX via my cold wallet, but I have no choice as I need to interact with it daily. The Talking Toucan, I think I answered your question on one of my last live streams. Again, if you connect your Ledger, connecting Ledger Live to a DEX, that would mean that you're using your cold wallet to interact with the DEX. So again, I don't recommend doing that. You don't want to connect your cold wallet to a DEX. Just set up a new wallet in MetaMask, completely new wallet with its own seed phrase, and use that to interact with the DEX. That's my recommendation. It doesn't matter if you use Ledger Live or you connect your Ledger wallet to MetaMask and use MetaMask, you're still connecting your Ledger wallet to the DEX. Like, I don't know. I can't make that any more clear. If you want to connect your Ledger wallet to a DEX, that's up to you. In general, like known DEXs like Uniswap are generally safe, but at any moment a DEX could be compromised. And if you've already signed a transaction approval where you signed an unlimited spend approval, which means the platform has the ability to spend your crypto literally eternally. If you sign a spend approval, and most spend approvals are unlimited, you're giving them access to that specific account in your wallet to spend that crypto. If it's a legit contract, it would only happen when you're actually interacting with it and on agreed terms. But if it's malicious and someone were to hack, let's say they hacked Uniswap or something, and you had already signed that spend approval, then they could literally come in and take all of your crypto. That's why you don't want to be signing spend approvals with your main cold storage wallet. That's why I'm saying use a completely different wallet. So hopefully that makes sense. Cana Crypto said, any idea why my Tangem ring stopped working after international travel? I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know. Could be a lot of things. You could definitely try some things. You could try uninstalling and reinstalling the app. You could try, obviously make sure that the Tangem card still scan with your phone and make sure it's not an issue with your phone. And if you try all these troubleshooting things and it still doesn't work, I would probably reach out to Tangem and let them know that your ring doesn't work anymore. I've had my ring since they came out with it, which was like a year ago now. And I've traveled all over with this. I've gone swimming with it. And it still works like it always has. So Debbie says, "Hi, I'm a beginner and serially low tech, and you have been a great help. I used your code last week to order Tangem. Awesome, thank you so much, Debbie, for joining the live stream and for your kind words. And I also just want to give a shout out to Debbie for being a beginner and already doing your research and getting a cold wallet. I think that's a huge step in the right direction. You're already ahead of a lot of people in crypto who don't even own a cold wallet, because 90% of people who own crypto don't use cold wallets yet. So huge ups to you, Debbie. Good job on securing your crypto. I bought Tangem wallet, and my question is, for how many years can I use it? Do I need to buy a new one, or can I use it for years? So no one can tell you for sure how long a crypto wallet will last, or how long they'll even be good for. We could all wake up tomorrow and quantum computing could hack all the blockchain networks, and all of our wallets would be useless. So it really just depends on how quickly the blockchain technology advances. But in general, the Tangem wallet itself is designed to last 25 years. So, excuse me. El Timan said, "Damn, I just paid $144 for 2 cards and a ring. I don't think I'll cry over $20. Yeah, you're good. I mean, you could have saved a little money, but I think the important thing is that you're on track to secure your crypto. And, I don't know what else to tell you, but yeah, just know around the holiday seasons, most of these companies will have some kind of sale. Tangem and Ledger especially are really good about offering sales up for their customers. So I already answered that question. Bimpir Blimp says, "Skrilla, what's going on, my friend? Happy to see you in another live stream. Thank you for joining." A2Easy says, "Question, how come you don't recommend the cold card queue?" The main reason is because I don't recommend wallets that I haven't personally used, and I don't own the cold card queue, so I can't recommend it. That said, I'm not a huge fan of cold card wallets because I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I hold a lot more. I hold a lot of other stuff that's not Bitcoin, so I don't really see a reason why I would use a Bitcoin only wallet. Just doesn't make sense for my situation. And I just think there's better wallets out there. Not to say that cold card isn't secure, but I think when it comes to the usability and the user interface, I think there are a lot better options out there. MJK Product says, "Just picked up a Flex with that voucher. Awesome. And have a Tangem wallet, but wanted a desktop app. Yeah, then the Ledger Flex is going to be perfect for you, and I think you'll really like it. Plus, worst case, you can still use your Ledger Flex with your mobile device if you want to do that as well. So it is versatile." LT Man says, "Good to see you again. Hope you and your family are doing well. I appreciate that. And much love and respect from Chicago. Shout out Chi-Town. Thank you, as always, for joining the stream. Albert says, "Skrilla, I have a question regarding the Ledger Flex and Stacks. Is it true that the battery have defects and it'll swell after a couple months?" That has not been the case for me. To be clear, I own 3 Ledger Flex wallets. Do I have them all? Well, I have 2 of them here. But I own 3 Ledger Flex wallets. and I've owned one for since it came out, like for a year. I've never had any issue with them. I think there were a couple isolated issues where maybe the batteries had swelled, um, but I'm sure those have been addressed. And I would be surprised to see those issues moving forward from any new Flex and Stacks wallets. So yeah, in my experience, that hasn't been the case. If it does happen after a couple months, Ledger does come with a 1 year warranty, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. Dun, 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 dun. LT Man also says, "Oh, by the way, I just received my Tangem wallet. I will review your video. Um, I will review your video on how to set up the wallet if I have any problems." Yeah, for sure. And I have any questions about Tangem or Ledger, I have playlists on the channel dedicated to these wallets specifically, and they will probably answer every single question you have about these wallets. Um, so yeah, definitely check out that playlist. Kathy says, "Well, another live one. Finally moved from Kraken to Tangem. I chose not to use biometrics after Kraken didn't recognize my face. So another card access code. Thanks to watching your videos. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you got your Kraken off of the crypto exchange, Kathy, and onto your Tangem wallet. Super happy to hear that. So yeah." LTman says, but Tangem doesn't have clear signing now. Tangem does have its own form of clear signing. Ledger just basically they coined the term clear signing. That's not to say that other wallets don't have something similar, but Tangem does have its own version of clear signing that they released with this latest app update. Which again, if you haven't seen that update, go and check out 2 videos ago where I cover the updates. And they did come out with something like clear signing. So when you sign a transaction using your Tangem wallet, it actually creates a like a example transaction offline, and then it breaks down all the details in a human readable form, so you can see again what you're signing. And that also includes that scam detection, so it will tell you if it notices anything suspicious or anything like that. So yes, Tangem does have a version of clear signing, but it's not exactly the same as Ledger because they're two completely different products. Ledger has its own screen, Tangem doesn't. So Kathy says, I meant a lot of going back and forth between cards and access code. Yeah, I got you, Kathy. No worries. I'm just glad that you got it all set up and your crypto is secure. Chris, hi there from South Africa. What's going on, Chris? Just bought a 3-card Tangem wallet, only to discover that my cell phone is not geared for it. Yeah, that's something you always want to ensure. Tangem is an NFC only wallet. It only works with mobile phones that have full NFC capabilities. One thing you can do before you buy a Tangem wallet is download the Tangem app. And you can't do too much with it without the card, but at least download the app and make sure everything looks good and that it functions before you buy the card. But if you own most phones, like any iPhone, within the last 10 years, or I should say within the last 7 years, is going to work just fine with the Tangem wallet. Chris, want to humbly ask if anyone can help me with $270 to afford a phone compatible with Tangem. Chris, we're not going to do that here on the channel. I'm sorry, my guy. But yeah, there's just too many scammers out there. I'm not saying you're a scammer, but I've seen this time and time again. We're not going to send you money, my guy. I'm sorry. Kevin says, good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. What's going on, Kevin? Thanks for joining the live stream. Bailey says, a free Bitcoin. No, Bailey, not a free Bitcoin, but free Bitcoin. Not one Bitcoin, but Bitcoin. Let me go back and I'll show you. So this is what you get when you buy these different Ledger wallets. If you buy a Ledger Nano S Plus, you get $10 in free Bitcoin. If you buy a Nano X, you get $50 in free Bitcoin. If you buy the Flex, you get $70 in free Bitcoin. If you buy the Stacks, you get $80 in free Bitcoin, which is a very, obviously one Bitcoin right now is well over $100,000. So you're getting $80 a part of a Bitcoin. It's free money. It's the easiest way to explain it. Dun, 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 dun. Kathy says she's so glad she went with the Tangem wallet because the screens on the like the Nano X and the Nano S Plus would be too small for her. They are definitely smaller screens. Like I use this one for a couple years before I moved up to a larger screen, but it does the job, but definitely not for everyone. Greg says, I love both, but Ledger do what other companies never do. I buy Orange. It was not on promotion, and I got $80 in the free Bitcoin. That's awesome. That's super cool that they hooked you up. Arun says, hi, Skrilla. What's the best and safest website for getting crypto airdrops? There is no one website that you get crypto airdrops. Crypto airdrops are specific to projects. So if you're a part of a project, you might get an airdrop for just participating in the project or something like that. Again, these are airdrops are specific to cryptocurrency projects. You don't just go to a website and claim random airdrops. If there is something like that, then it's a scam. Southern Stacker says, can a plugging on the Tangem wallet app be deleted or removed if you have never moved a coin of that plugging from an exchange to the hot wallet? Southern Stacker, I might just be like spacing out right now, but I don't know what you mean by plugging. Can a plugin on the Tangem wallet app be deleted? I think you're talking about like a plugin or like a crypto app or something. That's not going to happen. And your crypto is actually stored on the blockchain. It's not stored on any of these wallets. So you always have your crypto, even if like the app disappeared or something like that. You will always be able to access the app because it's open source. You could download it from other places. But if you have your seed phrase, you can always take that seed phrase, import it into a different brand wallet and access your crypto there. But if I understand what you're saying correctly, no, it's not a concern that anything will be like deleted or removed from the Tangem app, like a coin or something like that. Not going to happen. This is a good question. Demo 1371 asks, what if your eyesight is bad? Would these stacks be better choice than the Flex? I wish I had the stacks here with me. I wouldn't say the difference in size of the actual what you see on the screen is that significant between the Flex and the stacks. A lot of the Flex's screen size, which is about an inch bigger than the Flex, it comes from it's longer, so it's slightly longer. It's about this long, but it's not actually any wider. So yeah, it's not terrible. Like the Flex is actually it's pretty good. Even I have bad eyesight. I have to wear contacts. I am probably close to legally blind without contacts. But I would say that the Flex is going to get you just as big of like icons and stuff as these stacks from my experience. Shadow Filter said the stacks and the recovery subscription is $90 in Bitcoin. That's true. Ledger does have something called Ledger Recover, which is not to be confused with the recovery card. Ledger Recover is a subscription-based key recovery service that they offer. Not something that I personally use, so I don't generally recommend it. That's not to say that a ton of people don't use it, because I know for a fact that a lot of people do use that service. But yeah, if you do sign up for the Ledger Recovery subscription, when you check out, you'll get an additional $10 in Bitcoin. That's a good point. Thanks for pointing that out, Shadow Filter. And yeah, good stuff. Slapshot says, really love my Tangem. Glad to hear that. A lot of people who go with Tangem, especially coming from like really any other hardware wallet, people who go to Tangem from any other wallet are surprised with how enjoyable it is to use, because a lot of stuff in crypto really just isn't fun to use. Like it's kind of boring. It can be confusing, and that's, I think, where Tangem is really excelling and even innovating. That's just why I recommend it so much to, especially to beginners. But I mean, Tangem isn't just a beginner only wallet. whether you hold a little bit of crypto or a large amount of crypto, I think Tangem uh, can be used by anyone, and I think anyone who uses it will really enjoy it. New name says, I have a question. What's the difference between Cashew Tangem and regular Tangem? I'm assuming Cashew Tangem is just a different design, a card design, but let me pull that up real quick. You're talking about the Cash Wallet by Tangem. Let's see. So it looks like the Cash Tangem wallet is it's only for storing cash cryptocurrency. So if you're looking for a wallet to store lots of cryptocurrencies, you'd want to get the normal Tangem wallet. That's one thing I didn't mention for both of these wallets. So Tangem supports more than over 80 different blockchain networks. So Tangem has one of the best, offers some of the best coin support out of all the hardware wallets in the market. So that means you can store Bitcoin, you can store Ethereum, you can store Solana, BNB, XLM, XRP, all these different things, and then all the tokens on those ecosystems. So you can store meme coins like Pepe, that's on Ethereum. You can store, Solana meme tokens and all that stuff. And same with Ledger, they have good coin support as well. And the cool thing about Ledger is even if they don't support a certain cryptocurrency, you can always connect your Ledger wallet securely to another hot wallet app like MetaMask, for example, and you can get access to even more crypto. That said, there is no limit to how much crypto you can secure using a hardware wallet, since hardware wallets don't actually hold any crypto. Crypto only exists in one place. That's on the blockchain. All these wallets do are they hold the keys that are used to access and manage your crypto. So that means there's no limit to how much crypto you can store or secure with a hardware wallet. Just want to make that clear. Slapshot says, are the fees still high if you buy on Tangem? Feels like I'm still better buying on Kraken and transferring. Yeah, the fees are still, again, these are not Tangem wallet fees. These are fees charged by the exchanges that Tangem has partnered with. They are partnering with more exchanges, but the last time I tried buying crypto on Tangem, the fees were significantly higher than if you just buy on something like Kraken and transfer. So as far as buying and selling crypto, I still transfer it back to my exchange to do that. However, I have found that swapping on the Tangem wallet is comparable to swapping on something like Kraken. Lorna says, question, what is the lifespan of the Ledger Flex? Also, I want to thank you so much for these videos. Lorna, it's hard to say what the lifespan is, just because one, they've only been around for about a year. So there's no like guarantee or for sure, this is how long it's going to last. And that really depends on a lot of things like how you store it and stuff. But you could look at like other products on the market. You could look at like Kindles or other touchscreen products like phones and stuff. Which I have like an old iPod Touch from, what is that, like 15 years ago, that still works. So that's just an example. I will say, I would imagine the Ledger Flex will last a long time. That said, if there was something that would fail, if I had to guess, it would be the battery. The battery is usually the first thing that goes in, in any product. The cool thing though, like my battery failed in the Ledger Nano X after a few years. So my battery currently does not take a charge on the Ledger Nano X. The cool thing is though, I can still use it if I just plug it into my computer. So even if the battery fails, you should still be able to use the device. So that's really all I can tell you. But yeah, and I appreciate you joining all the live streams. You always have really good questions, and I appreciate that. Is this live from yesterday, Skrilla? I'm not sure what you're referring to, but the Ledger, if you're referring to the deals, Ledger's deal just dropped today, and Tangem's deal came out yesterday before I did yesterday's live stream. Matthew says, why people saying Tangem is a good company to hold small amounts and big amount on Ledger? Because people can say whatever they want on the internet without backing it with any facts or reasoning. So yeah, I can't tell you why other people are saying Tangem is good to hold small amounts. But I would recommend like diversifying your crypto, no matter what wallet you use, is important. So, I can't tell you what that amount is or how much you should hold on each wallet, because what I consider a lot of money might not be a lot of money to you. But I think diversifying your crypto is never a bad idea. That said, there isn't any limit to how much you can hold on a Tangem wallet or any wallet. So yeah. Albert says also, if Ledger Flex and Stacks batteries can be removed and just used while plugged in, you wouldn't have to remove the battery, Albert. You could just, like, if it fails, you could just still use it plugged in. Like, I haven't taken the battery out of my Ledger Nano X, and I can still use it plugged in. Jonathan says, if money wasn't an issue and you had to choose just one, which one, Tangem or Ledger? Especially comparing user interface and easy usage. Big thanks and have a good one. Great question, Jonathan. And I do like to talk about like how my thought process choosing a hard wallet, because I do own over 30 different hardware wallets. So I really have learned what I personally like and what I look for. So the first thing that anyone should look at, which is the most obvious, is coin support. You want to check that whatever wallet you're considering buying supports the cryptocurrencies that you want to secure with it. Because if it doesn't, then why buy that wallet, right? You can't even use it. So that's the first thing I would check, is coin support. Second is compatibility. So do you have a preference? Do you want to use your wallet on your phone, or do you want to use it on your computer? Do you want to use it with both? Because some wallets like Tangem are mobile only, whereas some wallets like Ledger work both on your desktop and mobile device. If I had to choose one, it's hard to say, honestly. I will say that out of all my hardware wallets that I own, I use Tangem the most because it is the most convenient. It's just hard to beat because it uses your phone as its interface. And we're all super familiar with phones. We're all familiar with how to use apps on our phone. So if it's like usability and user friendliness that you're looking for, then I would probably lean personally more towards Tangem. However, if you want a little more like security features, and you want your hardware wallet to have its own screen, then obviously you'd want to go with the Ledger wallet. I don't think you could go wrong with either. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I'd say Tangem. And if I was going to go with Ledger, I would go with the Ledger Flex. Again, this is just my personal opinion, because I think the Flex is the perfect balance of usability and still being a Ledger wallet without being like the small touchscreen like the Ledger Nano X. Not that there's anything wrong with this. It's just my personal preference is having the larger touchscreen. So this is a difference here. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Crazy Man says, hello, thank you for the live session. I have a quick question. Could you tell me why Tangem doesn't support Monero? I can't tell you that because I don't know. I don't know why. Chantra William asked, do you recommend purchasing the Ledger Recovery subscription? So I'll touch on this a little bit more. Ledger Recovery is a subscription-based key recovery service. Well, excuse me. And I think it costs about $100 a year. So you do have to consider that cost. It is a recurring cost. And basically what it does is if you ever lose your seed phrase, which is a key to your wallet, you can use the Ledger Recovery service to recover your seed phrase. Now, there is a lot of controversy around this because you're basically sharing your keys with different entities so they can help you recover it. However, the way that Ledger does this is obviously secure. No one ever has access to your keys or knows it. And kind of a quick breakdown of how it works is basically when you sign up for Ledger Recover, first, you have to enter just a couple personal information, nothing like KYC. But when you go to recover your key, if you ever lose it, it does use your identity to help verify who you are. So that includes basic things like your name, as well as a selfie. And then to actually enable the Ledger Recovery service, you have to go into your physical hardware wallet and you have to essentially approve that transaction or that subscription. Once you do that, your private key, or your master key rather, is split into 3 separate pieces. And then it's double encrypted. And then those 3 pieces are sent to 3 different entities in 3 different parts of the world. And the only way to decrypt your key is by them basically sending those shards back to your wallet. And then you use your identity and your physical hardware wallet to decrypt the key, and then regain access to your wallet if you ever lost your key. So if you aren't confident in your own ability to securely store and keep track of your seed phrase, then I'm assuming those are the kind of people who use something like the Ledger Recovery subscription. It's not something that I personally have ever used, but that doesn't mean other people don't want to use it. So yeah, it's really up to you. Hopefully that answered your question. Arun says, how can one switch from Ledger Nano X to the new Stacks device? Can I continue to use the same seed phrase from the old device? Absolutely. If you're confident that your current seed phrase is secure, like you haven't exposed it to any scammers or anything, which you probably haven't, if your crypto is still safe, then all you do when you set up your new Ledger wallet, instead of creating a new seed phrase, you just hit the import recovery phrase option, and then you simply enter your seed phrase into your new device, and that's it. You'll essentially have 2 of the same wallets because you can still use that seed phrase in both wallets. Not a big deal if that's up to you. So yeah, it's really that easy. Just enter your seed phrase in the new device and you're good to go. Slapshot says, thoughts of the security of buying crypto right through the Tangem wallet. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any security issues with buying, selling, or swapping crypto directly through Tangem. My main concern are the fees that come from the third-party partners that Tangem has partnered with. They're well, depending on what you're buying, they can be a lot higher than if you just bought your crypto on an exchange. So I still prefer to buy my crypto on something like Kraken and then just transfer it to my Tangem wallet. And to be quite honest, like buying and selling crypto in any cold wallet isn't that much more convenient than just buying it on an exchange and selling it. For example, I can buy crypto on Kraken. That takes like 20 seconds, and then I can send it to my Tangem wallet in a matter of, depending on which network it's on, it could take as little as 30 seconds. So I could literally buy crypto, have it sent and arrive in my cold wallet in under a minute, and same for selling. And it still kind of blows my mind. At the same time, it's kind of like, wow, it really takes that long. But when I sell crypto, I transfer it to my Kraken account from Tangem. I can transfer it. It takes longer to receive crypto on an exchange just because of how exchanges work. But if I'm transferring something like USDT on the Tron network, it takes less than 5 minutes to receive it on the exchange. And then from there, I can instantly sell it on Kraken. And then I can withdraw it to my bank account. And with Kraken, at least where I'm at, if you do that before 2 p.m. Eastern time, your money will literally show up in your bank account that same day. So yeah, all that to say, I don't personally have any issues with buying and selling crypto on a dedicated exchange. But if you want to do it through Tangem, then you can do it that way too. No, Nicola says, forgot my access code on my wallet. Do I need to reset all my cards? You won't be able to reset your cards if you don't know your access code. What you need to do is reset your access code. Depending how your Tangem wallet is set up, you should be able to just go into the settings and tap reset access code. And you will need to reset your access code for each individual card, since that is specific to each card. Laurent Sir says, I just withdrew Chronos from wrong network. From Exchange, Kraken, what do you recommend? What should I do? My funds are gone because of your recommendation. The Kraken not have Chronos integrated. Um, so it sounds like you sent Chronos to your Kraken account, um, but they don't support Chronos. Then I don't understand why or how you would even send Chronos if you didn't copy a Chronos receiving address. Um, just doesn't make much sense to me. You only send crypto to addresses that can receive that crypto. That's it's kind of um, just how it works. As far as what you can do, I would reach out to Kraken, open up a support ticket, and they might be able to help you. You could also try opening a support ticket with Tangem. Not saying that either of them will be able to do anything. Sometimes when you send crypto on the wrong network, it is lost forever. However, since you sent it to an exchange, I think they might be able to help you. So I definitely reach out to Kraken. But yeah, to be clear, when you send crypto, you need to send it to an address that is for that crypto. Like you wouldn't send Bitcoin to an Ethereum address, just like you shouldn't send Chronos to another address, right? Um, so hopefully you understand that. LTman says, thank you so much for always responding to our questions. Of course, I try my best. Gomo says, how do you pull your seed? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Gomo. If you could clarify, um, I could give you a better answer. Media Players says, does Tangem have a contacts feature for sending to frequent addresses? Tangem does not have a contacts feature. I'm sure that's something they could easily add. They do have a recent activity feature. So any addresses that you've interacted with in the past, they do appear in a list that you can choose from. So that's the closest thing you get. That said, I don't recommend doing any of that. I recommend always copying the receiving address directly from the wallet you're sending to if possible. That's going to always be the most secure and ensures that you send your crypto to the correct address and not like a fake address or what is that called? Or like an address from a dusting attack or an address poisoning attack where someone sends you crypto to your wallet using an address that looks like yours in hopes that you use their address to send crypto to. It's always most secure to copy the receiving address directly from the wallet you're sending to, again, if that's possible. Benjamin says, with Ledger, can you use multiple recovery cards with one flex? So different wallet address stacks. Yeah, you can use multiple recovery cards with the Ledger Flex and Ledger Stacks. Like they do have a 3-pack option you can buy on their website as well if you want more than the one card that it comes with. So yeah. How many days, months do you use your Flex wallet before powering it off? You never power it off. So I have the auto power off function set up on my Ledger Flex. So after a few minutes, it automatically shuts off. That said, you get 10 hours of full use on a single charge, which would be like constantly using it, and that's why it lasts so long. But it does have that auto shut off feature. So yeah, I don't have to power it off; it powers off by itself. Esperton says, also, thanks for joining the live stream. I've seen you in some of the other live streams. I was nervous about buying the Tangem wallet and ring. I purchased a 3-card wallet with the American flag because it's discounted. I love that wallet and the design, as I do live in the United States. Yeah, super cool. I'd be curious. So did you end up purchasing the Tangem ring then? Would just be curious if you've received it and your thoughts on it. Because personally, like the Tangem ring for me, this is one of the best fitting rings that I've actually ever owned. You can see it kind of fits pretty snug, and it's super lightweight. I don't know. I just think it's a good looking ring, and the fact that I can manage my crypto with is kind of crazy. But yeah, would be curious, Esperton, if you ended up getting the ring. Misfit says it's a shame we can't claim Midnight token with ADA we hold on a Tangem wallet. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to claim the Midnight token airdrop. Again, I don't know enough about it. Not something that I'm involved in, but it shouldn't matter what wallet you're using. Assuming the wallet supports the token you're claiming, then there should be no issues claiming it. Albert says, how many days a month do you use? I already answered that. Southern Stacker says, when you create a path, so I'm assuming you're talking about an address on a Tangem wallet to place a coin, but you decide not to get the coin, can the path be deleted? It's not something you can delete. Once something is generated on the blockchain, it exists forever. So when you set up a wallet, it generates public receiving addresses from the master key, and those are just the addresses associated with your wallet. There's no way to delete things like that from the blockchain. They exist forever. If you would just simply not use the address. That's really how you delete it. You just don't use it. Steve says, if it were you and you were holding large amounts of crypto and you were storing them in 5 different wallets, how would you do it? I mean, there's lots of ways to do it. You could separate it by the types of cryptocurrencies you own. So you could have Bitcoin in one wallet, ETH in another wallet, Solana in one wallet. Or if you maybe own just one kind of cryptocurrency, let's say you owned $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, for example, then maybe you just want to put like 20,000 in each wallet so that it's split, 20% across each wallet. There's no right or wrong way to do it, just kind of however you see fit. New name says, hey, Skrilla, the one I meant is the Caleb B with Cashew Vault and Tangem. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but the Cashew Vault Tangem, yeah, I'm just not sure what that is. You can do a quick Google search. I will tell you, I see Patreon. That looks like Cashew Vault plus Tangem as a Patreon club. Unless you're looking at the actual Cashew wallet. Again, the Cashew wallet, Tangem wallet, is a specific wallet just for Cashew crypto. So if that's the only crypto you hold and you want to secure it, then you would use that wallet. I recommend just buying the normal Tangem wallet and not going with any collabs. That would be my recommendation. As long as the wallet supports the crypto you want to hold, that's what's important. Effie says, I am new to the space and Tangem is a good call. Definitely a lot of beginners who are just getting into crypto or just getting their first cold wallet usually end up love the Tangem wallet because it's arguably one of the most simple things that you'll use in the crypto space. Also, shout out to all my X viewers over there, my Twitter viewers who are watching from Twitter. I appreciate you. I better check on Twitter and see what it's looking like. Okay, nice. All right. Xenia says, what is the Tangem payment won't happen? Tangem Pay is still happening. When you're dealing with something as big as creating a self-custodial debit card crypto wallet, it's not just a matter of, pumping out a card and putting it out to the world. They have to work with a bunch of regulators. They have to make sure it's all legal. It takes time. So just like anything when it comes to the government, it takes a lot of time, probably a lot of money, a lot of research. So Tangem Pay, last I heard, is still set to release by the end of this year, but only in select countries in I think Europe and the UK. We won't see it hit the United States probably until sometime next year, but the goal is to make it worldwide because the point is you'll be able to use it over 90 million different Visa terminals around the world. B Solo over on X says, can the Ledger Flex be used with any other wallet software besides Ledger Live? Absolutely. You can connect your Ledger wallet to basically any software wallet that lets you connect a hardware wallet. So like MetaMask, you can connect it to probably Phantom and things like that. So yeah, you don't have to use Ledger Live if you don't want to. You can connect it to other software wallet apps. Good question. I am BX says, hi, Skrilla. I hope you're doing well. I am. Thank you. If you have $1 million and you need to split it into Spirit wallets based on security, what's the percentage and how many wallets? That's not something I can necessarily answer for you. It's so That's a pretty personal question. Only you can answer that. I will say, what do you feel comfortable risking on each wallet? Um, like if you lost a wallet or something happened to one of your wallets, you slipped up and made a mistake and it got compromised, how much money would you be okay losing? Obviously, no money, but would you rather have, 250K on one wallet? Would you rather have 100K, 50K? You really have to just assess your own personal risk tolerance and see, and just decide like what you're comfortable with. I can't answer that for you. I can't tell you how many wallets to have. I would say just ask yourself those basic questions, determine how many wallets you need, and get the wallets. Yeah. Dan, the buy to let man, awesome name, says that he has 9 Tangem cards and a ring, and he highly recommends it. So here we are, another satisfied Tangem user, and someone with the ring. I feel like a lot of people don't know about the Tangem ring, so we don't get to hear a lot from people who own it. But yeah, super happy to hear that you're enjoying your Tangem wallets, Dan. And I'm right there with you. I have seven different sets of Tangem wallets, including the ring myself. Southern Stacker says, thanks for all your help and support. Skrilla is the man. I appreciate you, Southern Stacker. Thanks for all your good questions. Jay Perp says, will Google Play Store ban the Tangem app? Nope. I already covered all that in yesterday's live stream. If you haven't seen that live stream, go and watch it. I answer all the questions you have about the Google Play crypto wallet ban in the first 10 minutes of that live stream. New name says, thank you. You're welcome. Mary says, I don't understand Web3 wallets. I'm new on Tangem, but will we be locked out to sell our crypto if we're not on a Web3 wallet? Mary, I don't know where you're hearing the term Web3 wallet from, but it's likely a scam. There's no such thing as a Web3 wallet. There are only crypto wallets. Maybe people are using the term crypto and Web3 wallet interchangeably. If they are, it's the same thing. But I would be very cautious wherever you're hearing this Web3 wallet thing from. It sounds like they could be trying to scam you. You're not locked out of selling your crypto if you don't use a Web3 wallet. Using a cold wallet, you have many options to sell your crypto. You can send it back to an exchange. You can sell it directly from your cold wallet. So yeah, I would, the term Web3, even though a lot of these companies use that term, was actually a term that was made popular in 2021 during the NFT bull run. And I'm pretty sure it was created by venture capitalists to sound like they know what they're talking about. They're just buzzwords. It's used in a lot of marketing. But yeah, it's just all buzzwords. And there's really no such thing as Web3. I would say like the closest thing to Web3 is blockchain technology. Droopy, thanks for your great videos. You're welcome. When setting up Tangem Wallet, you choose the coin, but some has other option tabs. How can I make sure it's the right coin? So you're talking about the different networks when you open up a coin. You would want to choose a network that you're sending your crypto on. So let's say you're sending your crypto from an exchange and you're sending that crypto on the Ethereum network, then you would want to ensure that the token you enable is on Ethereum. And the way you find that out is when you go to send crypto from the exchange will either tell you what network it's on or will make you choose the network. And that's the network that you want to choose in Tangem as well. Trey says, if I order 3 cards, can I give one away to someone else to use? No, you can't. And the reason being, and this is a good question because I didn't address this, is in order to set up one Tangem wallet, you need a minimum of 2 cards. You can't set up a Tangem wallet without 2 cards. Each card is still the same wallet. They hold the same keys, but Tangem requires this so that you have one main card and one backup card. So if you had, get my other Tangem card. So let's say you have 3 cards, 3 Tangem cards. If you only set up 2 and you gave one away, this one is completely useless because they won't be able to do anything with it. So if you wanted to do something like that, I would just recommend either buying two packs or 2 3-packs. If you bought 2 3-packs, you could essentially set up 3 different Tangem wallets, or if you buy 2 2-packs, you could set up 2 wallets. Dan the buy to let man says definitely worth having multiple wallets considering how easy it is to create each separate wallet. That way you spread the risk. For sure. And this is a good point that Dan is making is and again something else I forgot to mention. With the Tangem app, you can actually set up dozens of Tangem wallets using your same phone and the same Tangem app. So you can literally manage multiple Tangem wallets in one Tangem app, which is extremely useful and very convenient. And thanks for reminding me to point that out, Dan. Brian says, Skrilla, do you often get phishing emails or texts concerning crypto exchanges? Do you expect any may be a spear phishing attempt? I get phishing emails more than I can count every single day for various reasons. I would say I'm pretty heavily targeted by scammers. Just being on YouTube and with the stuff that I talk about, I'm definitely heavily targeted. So yeah, I get plenty of phishing emails, and they all get sent directly to my spam box if they're not already there, and those email addresses get blocked. I get text messages, I get phone calls, I even have conversations with scammers on the phone because a lot of them I'll just talk to them like a human. Now, some of them are extremely aggressive and confrontational, and you can't even talk with them. But a lot of them I have actually had conversations with, and they'll sit there and tell me for 10 minutes exactly how the scam works. And it's pretty insane. But all that to say, yeah, I think, phishing attempts is really a normal part of just modern day society, considering we all live on the internet. And the scam industry is is probably $1 trillion industry at this point. So Hoptard says, "See, Skrilla is the man. Thanks for all your vids and info. This made my break into crypto very easy." And thank you for sharing that. I'm super happy to hear that, because that's literally the goal and the point of this channel is to help people get into crypto and make it just a little bit easier. So I'm super happy to hear that was your experience. Thank you for sharing that. Hoptard also says, "Kudos to Tangem. Great product." Awesome to hear. Lorna has 2 questions. You mentioned using a third-party wallet with a flex for coins not supported. Can you expand a bit on that? And what is the best method to gift someone Bitcoin? Yeah, so if you go to Ledger's website, there is a coin support tab. And on that tab, you can basically see all the networks and cryptocurrencies that Ledger supports, which they support a ton of different cryptocurrencies natively using the Ledger Live app. But on that list, it will tell you if it's not supported, and then it should give you, it'll list another wallet that you can use instead. Now, for example, something like MetaMask, which is a super common software wallet, and it is its own wallet, but you could set up a MetaMask wallet, and then in that wallet, there is an option to connect your hardware wallet, and you just tap that button, connect hardware wallet, and then you can just connect your Ledger wallet, and you can use that third-party software to manage your crypto on your Ledger wallet, just like you would use Ledger Live. But that specific software might support different cryptocurrencies. Not really anything you need to worry about unless you need to support a crypto that's not supported by Ledger Live. So yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about it. And even if you end up having to use a third-party wallet, Lorna, it is literally just as easy as pressing a connect wallet button to the app. Pretty straightforward. As far as the best way to gift someone Bitcoin, really depends what their experience is. Like personally, what I've done for like my friend's birthday who aren't into crypto but who know I'm in crypto, I actually bought them a Tangem wallet, and then I give it to them for their birthday, and then I have them set it up. That way they go through the steps, and obviously I tell them kind of like, hey, this is your seed phrase, this is a key to your wallet. You don't want to share it with anyone, and you don't want to lose it. So I kind of walk them through, help them explain. Once they have it all set up, and they're like, okay, cool, thanks. That's when I'd be like, oh yeah, also, let me see your wallet, and then I send them crypto to their address, and that way they have their crypto secured on a wallet ready to go. So that's how I've done it, and I think that's the best way to do it because why gift someone Bitcoin if it's not going to be gifted in a secure way, and I think that is the most secure way to do it. Um, so yeah, that's how I would do it. IMBX says, thanks for answering my previous question. Based on your reviews, have you done what is the top 3 wallets based on security? Um, it's hard to say based on security. There's just so much that goes into that. There's a lot to consider. Most wallets on the market today are considered secure. That's why they're in business. There are some wallets I won't touch. That might be easier to tell you. I won't touch Decent wallet. It's a 100% closed source wallet, which means all the code that's used to make the wallet is kept completely private by the company. So that means external developers and security experts have no way to review the code to basically check for any vulnerabilities or backdoors. Another wallet that I don't recommend is CypherRock. I have reviewed their wallet in the past. I thought it was a pretty cool wallet, but then they started spamming my comments section and on all my social medias, and basically paying people to go to all the comments on Reddit, YouTube, and Twitter, and like on completely different videos, and just shill their CypherRock wallet, which is just a completely scammy and spammy marketing strategy that I can't get behind or support. So those are probably the 2 wallets that I wouldn't use. Personally, the wallets that I use the most would be Tangem, Ledger, and Trezor. I'm also a big fan of One Key wallets. I really like One Key. I think they're easy to use. And the most recent wallet that I purchased is the Engrave Zero, which is one of the most, I think it's the second most expensive, if not the most expensive wallet on the market. It has some insane security features. But a lot of the wallets that get into offering more security features, you're also sacrificing user friendliness or usability, because the more security features that they offer, the more you kind of need to know what those security features do, how to use them, and the risks involved with using them. So you could actually end up getting a wallet that's too complicated for your level of knowledge, and then it can actually become less secure. And those are kind of all the things that I think about. And the reason why I recommend the wallets that I recommend, because I know a lot of my audience is more beginner to intermediate level. So I'm not going to go and recommend a wallet that is overly complicated to use when it's not necessary. So I hope that answered your question. Trey says, Trey just donated $4.99. Thank you so much. Very generous of you. I always appreciate that. I never expect anyone to do that, but so grateful. Thank you, Trey, for that donation, and thanks for joining the live stream. And now I lost my spot. At least I think it did. Oh, here we go. Brian M says, a well-informed customer is the best customer. Thank you, CyberScrilla. Absolutely. You got to know about the product before you get it, especially in crypto. MG says, Skrilla is the Rilla Dilla. Thank you, sir. Dodger75 says, bro, are you the government? Yes, I am. You found me out. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm definitely not the government. And yeah, I don't know why you would think that, but yeah, I'd be curious to know why you think I might be the government. A2Easy says, really hate the Tangem. Anything else you can run that's not too much work? I don't know. That comment, I have a hard time believing that Tangem's too much work. Ask anyone, Tangem is the easiest wallet to use. I would say if you can't use a Tangem wallet or you don't understand how to use it, I wouldn't recommend moving on to any other wallet because all the other wallets are going to be more complicated than Tangem. If I mean, usually my next recommendation for beginners after Tangem is the Ledger Flex, um, because it does walk you through the setup process and everything, and it works with your desktop and mobile devices. But yeah, very weird that you would say Tangem is too much work. I see you left another comment. I'll get to it. Lorna says, thank you for answering all my questions. Excellent job with this channel. For me personally, you've taken the initial scary factor out of cold wallets, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you, Lorna, for saying that. Thank you for joining the live stream, and thank you for your support. I hope you continue learning about cold wallets and crypto security, even if it's beyond my channel. And I wish you all the best. A2Easy says, I understand how to use Tangem, but it's not working via NFC anymore. So if you just want to try a different wallet, again, my recommendation would be the Ledger Flex, really any Ledger wallet, but I like Ledger. And obviously the deals that they're offering today, it's kind of a no-brainer. Balls Out said, I like Tangem on my fourth set. Heck yeah. I think it's kind of funny that a lot of people who end up using Tangem, they end up getting multiple sets. It's kind of like, why fix it if it's not broke, right? So yeah, and that's why I have 7 sets now. Also, I think it's just like the designs are cool. Sometimes they come out with new designs, and it's always fun to get new design stuff. This is one of the OG Tangem wallets. This is before they offered the seed phrase option. So this is the first multi-currency Tangem wallet, but it was before you could create a seed phrase. And I actually still use this wallet. This wallet is over 2 years old. You can see it's pretty scratched up. I've taken this thing everywhere with me. But yeah, so this is my only seedless Tangem wallet. This is the only Tangem wallet I use without a seed phrase. But now that you can use a seed phrase, I obviously use that. So yeah, and for anyone who's just joining, obviously the live streams, you can always replay them. But I will quickly walk through the best cold wallet deals that are live for this Labor Day week. We're just going to go over super quickly. So Tangem, one of my favorite cold wallets. It's best for beginners. It's the most user-friendly. You only need your phone to use it. And it's the most discreet wallet on the market. Currently, Tangem is offering 20% off their entire website. So any wallet that you get. And I just updated the banner down at the bottom of the screen to how to take advantage of this sale. Also, all the links to these deals are in the description of this video. So you get 20% off of everything right now. That includes the Tangem ring or any Tangem cards. And all you have to do is enter 2 codes at checkout. Those codes are CYBERSCRILLA and Labor Day. And also, if you spend over $89, you get free shipping. The Tangem wallet is the best wallet for beginners because you can really do everything using the Tangem app on your phone. And that includes buying, selling, swapping, and staking cryptocurrency. You can set up your Tangem wallet with or without a seed phrase. So if you don't want to have to manage a seed phrase, you can do that. It is it does have an EAL6 plus secure element chip, which is the same kind of chip used in debit cards and electronic passports. Actually, just for the sake of videos, I actually cut out a secure chip out of an old credit card. And this is the kind of secure technology that stores your keys in your wallet, makes it immune to various types of hacks. And the EAL6 is the highest security standard when it comes to secure chips in the hardware wallet industry. So Tangem is using the most secure chip. It's designed by Samsung. Yeah. And it is protected. All of your Tangem cards are protected by an access code, which is a unique password that you create when you set up your Tangem wallet. And it can be anything. You can use a combination of letters and numbers. And then the recent update that Tangem released is they now have a scam detection feature when you sign transactions through Wallet Connect, which basically tells you if a transaction or a website you're visiting could potentially be malicious. So I mean, this wallet is literally designed for beginners. That's not to say that it's only for beginners. Even more advanced users can use Tangem and will probably enjoy it more than any other crypto wallet they've ever used. But those are just some features. And again, here's a deal. You get 20% off your order. That makes a 2-pack of Tangem wallets. Because you can only set up a Tangem wallet, you have to use a minimum of 2 Tangem cards and a maximum of 3. That said, you can get a 2-pack with this deal for only $43, which makes it the most affordable cold wallet on the market. Or you can get a 3-pack if you want an additional backup card for $55. Or you can get the ring, which Tangem does offer. This is a crypto wallet on my finger. This is the Tangem wallet ring. And this ring comes with 2 Tangem cards, which is also why Tangem, in my opinion, is the absolute best wallet, crypto wallet for traveling. If you travel for work or for pleasure. And the ring and 2 cards is $128. And again, you get you get free shipping on orders over $89. If you want link directly to these deals, they're all in the description of this live stream. Or just go to tangem.com if you don't like clicking links and enter these 2 codes on the purchase page, and those discounts will be applied automatically. So you don't have to click any links if you don't want to. Now, you will have to click a link if you want to take advantage of Ledger's deal, which this is the best deal that Ledger offers. And it's absolutely insane. You get up to $80 in free Bitcoin when you buy a Ledger wallet. Ledger is also good for beginners. They've been around, for over 10 years now, so they have learned what beginners like. But then it's also well suited for even more advanced users. So Ledger is really an overall and all around great wallet for anyone. It is desktop and mobile compatible, whereas Tangem is mobile only. So you can use your Ledger wallets with both your Mac, Windows, Linux computers, as well as your iOS and Android mobile devices. With Ledger, there are 4 different models to choose from. This is their entry-level model, the Ledger Nano S Plus, not to be confused with the Ledger Nano S, which they recently stopped supporting. But this is a Ledger Nano S Plus. They just dropped the price on this permanently, which I'll get to in a second. But this wallet right here, only $59, plus you get $10 in free Bitcoin. Little USB looking thing. The next step up from that is the Ledger Nano X. This exact wallet that I'm holding is the first hardware wallet I ever purchased back in 2020. You can see it's pretty scratched up. This one is a slightly larger screen, and you get the 2 buttons here on the front. So that's an option. This one is the Ledger Flex. This is Ledger's newest wallet. And this is currently my favorite Ledger wallet that they offer. This is an e-ink touchscreen, which again, I'll get into the features here in a second. And you got this nice e-ink digital touchscreen. Also, my favorite thing about the Ledger Stacks and Ledger Flex wallets is listen to this. This kind of sounds like a Game Boy when you turn it on. Just listen. I love that sound. So Ledger Flex is my favorite model. And then there's also the Ledger Stacks, which I have it safely tucked away right now, so I can't show you. But yeah, those are the 4 models. And like I said, they've been in business since 2014. So Ledger, I think, is the second oldest hardware wallet company, right behind Trezor. And just like Tangem, you can buy, sell, swap, and stake crypto directly in the Ledger Live app. Ledger wallets are the only wallets with their I'm not going to say it's patented technology, but they have kind of coined the term secure screen. And basically this makes it so you don't have to blind sign transactions. Blind signing is when you sign a crypto transaction without knowing the full details. And that could be because, usually because the transaction is in cryptographic code, and it's just like a long string of letters and numbers, and you have no idea what the heck it even says. So you're blindly signing that transaction. So what Ledger wallets do for most transactions is it turns it into a human readable format. So instead of 0x32ABCY it says you are sending $100 Bitcoin to this address. That way, you're sending your crypto to the right address, and nothing fishy is going on. Sorry, that was a clear signing I just explained. All Ledger wallets also come with a secure screen, which is unique to Ledger wallets. So most wallets with a screen, whether it's a touch screen or even even not touchscreen, something like this is an old Trezor wallet. Most wallets use a general. They use two chips in the device. They use a general purpose chip. The point of this chip is to basically to display things on the screen. It's a general purpose. It's the same kind of chip that you will see in like a TV remote. These have general purpose chips, or in your toaster oven. They're not security chips by any means, but they are in a lot of cold wallets, which can be a vulnerability if someone could potentially inject malicious code into that chip. And, of course, depending on how secure the wallet is, that could affect like transactions that you're doing on your wallet. So they could inject some kind of malicious code, and then maybe, it displays something on your screen that's not really happening. And that's why with Ledger, it's called the secure screen, because what Ledger has done is they've taken the secure element chip, which is the one that's immune to physical and remote attacks, this little chip, and they've just connected it directly to the screen. That way, no one can mess with your transactions or inject anything malicious. So yeah, that's unique to Ledger wallets. And again, it is an EAL6 secure chip manufactured by ST Microelectronics, which is the same people who manufacture chips for bank cards and electronic passports. They have been hardened for decades, meaning they've been tested and made more secure over tens and tens of years. And that's what you get when you use a Ledger wallet. And that's why they're so secure. And also, Ledger wallets are 95% open source. A lot of people think Ledger is a closed source company. Ledger is 95% open source. The only thing that isn't open source is the secure element chip, which is this chip. The reason that it's not open source is because it's not a Ledger product. Again, it's from ST Microelectronics, and they need to keep their code private to basically ensure that their IP remains intact. Because again, they've worked for tens of years to develop this code and ensure that it's secure. And if they made it open source, then basically anyone could just go and grab it and create their own product. So kind of selfishly, they keep it private to them as a company. And I'm talking about ST Microelectronics, not Ledger themselves. So just a small chunk of code that communicates between the secure chip and the Ledger device is closed source. Other than that, everything else is 100% open source, including Ledger Live, which is the app that you use to manage your Ledger wallet. Okay, so here are the deals. Again, all the links to all the deals are in the description of this live stream. For this Ledger deal, you do have to click the link. There's no discount code you enter or anything like that. You just go to the link and it will auto-populate these deals for you. So if you buy the Ledger Nano S Plus, you get, you get $10 in free Bitcoin. Got to take a water break. Okay, excuse me. So if you buy the Ledger Nano S Plus, you get $10 in free Bitcoin. The new price, the permanent price of the Ledger Nano S Plus is only $59. One of the most affordable wallets on the market next to Tangem. If you buy the Ledger Nano X, you get $50 in free Bitcoin, and that one costs $149. If you buy the Ledger Flex, you get $70 in free Bitcoin. That one costs $249. And if you buy the Flex, you get $80 in free Bitcoin, and that's their most premium wallet at $399. The one thing I want to point out here is that all of these models are equally secure. So if you don't want to spend $399 for a crypto wallet, but you don't want to sacrifice security, you don't have to. You can still get the Ledger Nano S Plus and have equally as secure wallet as something like the Ledger Stacks. The main difference and the reason these are all priced differently, obviously, are their design and then the features that they offer. But in terms of security, they're all equally secure. And this is a breakdown of how this is a breakdown of the differences between all the Ledger models. So the S Plus is their entry-level wallet. It's the most basic. It obviously comes with the secure chip. the secure screen and the clear signing, like all Ledger wallets. Then we have the Ledger Nano X, and the green text is kind of what I highlighted. That's different with each model that you would upgrade to. So the Ledger Nano X comes with a rechargeable lithium-ion battery, as well as Bluetooth, so that you can use it with your mobile device. So with the Ledger Nano S Plus, you do have to use it plugged in. It doesn't have Bluetooth, so you can't use it with mobile. Um, and those are really the main differences. And obviously, the Ledger Nano X has a slightly larger screen than the Ledger Nano S Plus. Then we move on to the Flex. Has everything that the Ledger Nano X has. Plus, it has a 2.84 inch. Sorry, I totally just blanked. E-ink touchscreen, kind of like the Kindles. If you own a Kindle, it has like a paper like touchscreen. It also has NFC, or near field communication. This is the same kind of technology that your phone uses when you do something like when you tap to pay at the store. And then it also comes with a recovery key. Now, this is Ledger's newest product. This is a Ledger recovery key, and I will go into this in just a second. Both the Ledger Flex and Stacks come with the Ledger recovery key, which is $40 if you buy it on its own. But yeah. And then we have the Stacks, and the main difference between the Stacks and the Flex is that the Stacks has a slightly larger touchscreen that wraps around the side of the wallet, and then it has wireless charging. Personally, for me, that's not worth the extra $150. I think the Stacks is super cool, but it's just not something that if I had to choose between the Flex and the Stacks, I'm going to choose the Flex every time just to save money. Now, the recovery key that I was just mentioning, it comes standard with every Flex and Stacks wallet. You don't have to add it to your cart. It'll just show up with your wallet. It is an offline key recovery. So when you set up your Ledger wallet, you can choose to back up your seed phrase on your Ledger recovery key, and it does that securely, transfers it to the card using NFC, and then it's protected on your card using a PIN code that you set up. And it's not a replacement for your seed phrase, just to be clear. It's simply an additional backup for your seed phrase. And that also means you don't have to pull out your seed phrase and risk exposing it every time you want to, regain access to your Ledger Flex or Stacks wallet. You can just take out your recovery key. You tap during the setup, you would just tap use recovery key, and then you literally just hold it to the back of the wallet, and it'll scan it. And then you enter your PIN code, and then you have access to your wallet. It also has, the recovery key has a self-destruct mechanism. So after 3 failed PIN attempts, it basically erases the key from the card. And that prevents anyone from brute forcing the recovery key. So no one will ever be able to access your key. So yeah, again, that comes standard with both the Flex and the Stacks wallets, which is a $40 value that you get. Plus, you get that free Bitcoin if you take advantage of the deal that they're having. As far as how long these deals last, for Tangem, their sale is until September 7th. So you have until September 7th to take advantage of the you have until September 7th to take advantage of that sale. And then for Ledger, their deal is going on until September 9th. And then one thing I want to make clear is if you can't, if you don't have the means to get a wallet right now, but you do want one, and you do want to take advantage of the deal, basically every holiday season, you can expect sales from, at least from Tangem and Ledger. They're really good about doing sales. So if it's not Labor Day, I don't know if they do anything for Halloween, but definitely Christmas, New Year's, Black Friday. I will say that the current Ledger deal that they're offering, where you get the $80 in free Bitcoin, is plus the free recovery key. That's really the best deal. That's as good as it gets when it comes to Ledger. As far as Tangem, I believe last Black Friday, they did up to 30% off their wallets. So 20% off is still pretty good for Labor Day, but just a heads up. And this is the Crypto Hotline. This is the one and only crypto hotline in the world where I answer your questions live on the air. So yeah, if you have any questions, it doesn't have to be about the sale. It could just be about crypto security, crypto wallets, whatever it may be. You just drop it in the chat, and we all just hang out here, we help each other out, and we answer questions. And that's what we do. Again, all these links are to these deals are down in the description. Also, something else, I left two other links in the description of this live stream. One is a Tangem wallet review. If you want to learn more about the Tangem wallet, how it works, its features, you can go watch that review later. Just open it up in your tab now, save it for later. And then the other video I linked in the description is my video where I compare all the Ledger wallet models. So I literally side by side, I compare the Nano S Plus, the Nano X, the Flex, and the Stacks. If you want to learn more about each wallet, their differences, and things like that. But yeah, that's it. That's the only deals that I found for cold wallets. Like I said, Tangem and Ledger are usually really good about trying to provide the best deals as often as they can for customers, which is super helpful. And that's how I've ended up with 7 sets of Tangem wallets, because I basically just wait till they either release like a new design or until they have a sale, and then I buy another one. And yeah, that's about it. So I'll go over to the chat here. It looks like we have a few new chats that I can pull up on the screen, and let's see what everyone's doing. I hope everyone had a good Labor Day weekend. I'm assuming everyone's back to work. I definitely did not take yesterday off. I live streamed for, I think, 4.5 hours with all of you. So that was pretty fun. Let's see. Let me get back here. Hop-Tart said, Tangem, so easy, a caveman can do it. Exactly. And that's actually a good point. Yesterday on the live stream, someone said that they had bought 2 sets, I believe it was 2 sets of Tangem cards for their kids. So it's so easy that your kids could use it and learn how to use it if you are, introducing them into crypto. Also, Tangem is the only wallet that I've talked about on this channel that I've ever seen multiple comments from people over 70 say that they enjoy using and understand how to use it. So yeah, it's a really great all-around wallet. And the main reason for that is because it utilizes your phone and the Tangem app, which makes it really easy. Hop-Tart says 2 sets getting a third. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but I would kind of be surprised if anyone had more sets than me. 7 sets of Tangem wallets is kind of a lot. Maybe not absolutely necessary, but it is what it is. Brian says, I'm going to buy some as gifts for the holidays. School my kids on how it works. See, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know. I just think that's super cool. Put a little starter crypto in there. There we go. Think of it as your parents helping you open a bank account. Yep, exactly. I think, crypto definitely is the future. So I think exactly what Brian just shared with us is, I think it's super cool. So Too Easy says, regarding the Ledger Flex, would you recommend using the folio case? And if the battery does die one day, can it be used via USB-C? I have the case. Well, this is my, I think I dropped my other case. I don't know. I had the folio case. This one's for the Ledger stacks, but I bet it works. It still works for my Flex. No, it doesn't. Let's see. Does it work? Yeah, it doesn't work as well because this case is for the stacks, but you can see it does. The magnet it's actually weak because of the location on the Flex, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary by any means, but if you want a protective case, then it's pretty cool, but not necessary. And yes, if the battery dies on a Ledger wallet, you can still use it without the battery. I use my Ledger Nano X by simply plugging it in via USB-C, and the battery failed years ago. Excuse me. KL says, why do you need so many cards? You don't need a lot of cards, but when it comes to Tangem, To set up one wallet, you need a minimum of 2 cards. And don't worry, the app walks you through the entire setup process. That's just how this wallet works. Basically, one is your main wallet, and then the other one is a backup card. But they're both the exact same wallet. You can both use them the exact same way. They both secure the same crypto. Um, but yeah, that's why Tangem comes in either a 2 or a 3 pack. The main reason it comes with multiple wallets is because you can set up Tangem without a seed phrase. And if you do that, your only backups, the only way to access your crypto are the cards. So you obviously want to have multiple backups in case you lose one. But yeah, you only need 2 cards to set up one Tangem wallet. So hopefully that answered your question. RRB says, how do you protect your seed phrase from being seen if your phone has keystroke software embedded in it, since Tangem doesn't have a separate device with a screen? The Tangem app is built to, it's not affected by keystroke software. You can code that stuff out. Tangem has done that. Another thing Tangem has done, which I displayed in one of my videos, if you want to check it out, it's called Tangem Wallet No Screen is a Secure. If you search that on YouTube, even if like someone's screen recording your phone or takes a screenshot, for example, it actually, when you go and play back the video or look at the photo, it's actually blank. And this is just some of the security features that the Tangem app offers. So yeah, keystroke software does not affect the security of the Tangem app. They obviously thought ahead and thought about that kind of stuff. So it's not something that you need to worry about. Mary says, when they say you will not be safe without a Web3 or we won't be able to keep our crypto, are they saying because they'll lock you out of crypto? Mary, the Web3 wallet, forget that. That's bullcrap. I don't know who's telling you that, but again, it sounds like a scam. That's just a made up thing. You can just forget that. The Web3 wallet isn't a real thing. If you have your crypto stored in a crypto wallet, you're good. You'll still be able to access your crypto. A crypto wallet is what we're talking about right now. Tangem, that's a crypto wallet. Ledger, that's a crypto wallet. Web3 wallet, no idea what that is. That doesn't exist. Sometimes people use the term Web3 interchangeably for things like crypto and blockchain, but it's all the same thing. But from the sounds of what you're saying, it sounds like a scam. Honestly, there's no such thing as a Web3 wallet. There are crypto wallets. Brian says, teach them how to save and invest. Like me taking my coin jar to the bank and enjoying watching your savings invest and grow. Absolutely. CDS says, hi. Thanks for joining the live stream again. A2Easy, I already answered your question. You don't need the protective case for your Flex. I personally don't use it on mine, even though I have it. And I mean, it's durable enough. Haven't had any issues. Navy P says, planning to buy the Tangem Wallet Black card. Yeah, absolutely. My favorite Tangem Wallet is the Stealth card. It comes with 2 blank cards and 1 branded. And it doesn't have any branding on it, which is super nice. So Tangem wallets are designed, Navy P, to last technically 25 years. Now, who's to say that that blockchain technology won't change within 25 years? It absolutely will. Who's to say if these wallets will be obsolete or not? Nobody knows. But the hardware is designed in these cards to last 25 years. A2Easy says, thoughts on cold card wallets. I did answer this and touched on it earlier. I don't use cold card wallets. I can't comment on the cold card queue because I don't own the cold card queue. I only own 1 cold card wallet and I don't use it. Reason being is I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I hold more than just Bitcoin. Cold card is a Bitcoin only wallet. It wouldn't make sense for me to use it. Personally, I think there are better wallets out there than cold card that support more cryptocurrencies and offer a better user interface, such as Ledger. That's just my opinion. If you go to a Bitcoin focused YouTube channel, they'll tell you cold card is the only wallet you should be using. So for me, it just doesn't make sense. Michael says he ordered a ring, but it didn't fit. My recommendation, if you order the Tangem ring, they do have a sizing guide on the ring part of the website that tells you how to size your finger. But if you don't trust sizing your finger yourself, like I didn't, The best thing you can do is just go to a local jewelry store, like in your mall or anywhere that sells rings. They have a tool that will measure your ring size, and they'll do it for free. You literally just walk in there and say, "Hey, I want to get my finger measured," and it takes like 2 seconds. They put the tool on there, they tell you, and you're good to go. If you don't want to go through that, you could also order a ring measuring tool on Amazon for a few bucks. But that would be my recommendation if you don't know your ring size and you want to ensure you get the right ring size. Charles says, should I use a hot wallet transferring my Bitcoin from Coinbase, Kraken, and Gemini to? No, you don't. I don't know where people get this idea that you have to transfer your crypto to a hot wallet first before a cold wallet. Doesn't make any sense. There's no benefit to doing that unless you like wasting money on extra fees. If you're transferring crypto from an exchange to a cold wallet, you just go directly from the exchange to the cold wallet. There doesn't need to be anything in between that transfer. It doesn't increase security. It doesn't increase privacy. Again, it's just a way to blow extra money on more fees. Mary says, or Marie, can you take Trezor seed phrase and load it on a Tangem wallet? Trezor uses BIP39 seed phrase. Not sure what Tangem uses. Tangem does use BIP39 seed phrases. That said, Tangem only supports one receiving address per wallet, whereas Trezor supports multiple. So that could be an issue. For example, if you have multiple, if you use multiple like Ethereum addresses, for example, on your Trezor wallet, only one of those will appear in Tangem. But if you only use one address per blockchain network, then you'll probably be okay. That said, I do have some exciting news about Tangem as far as like multiple accounts and receiving addresses. I can't share it yet, but I just found out this morning there are some advancements in the multiple receiving address and multiple account stuff that will be coming soon. Again, I don't think I can publicly share anything just out of respect for Tangem, but yeah, stay tuned is all I can say. The Contrarian Thinker says, on the Tangem access code, I have seen that Tangem is no longer requiring typing in the code or transactions like swapping assets. This is something you can change in the settings. If you want to require the access code for signing transactions, you can change that in the settings. For my wallet, it still requires that I enter my access code, and that's because that's how I have it set up. And you can change that in the settings. KK says, does Ledger also work with the 20-word seed phrase that Trezor has? No, it does not. So yeah, Trezor is one of the only wallets, cold wallets, that offers the 20-word seed phrase. Keystone is another one you can use it in. So Keystone and Trezor are the only ones that I know of that you can use the 20-word seed phrase. And then there are some hot wallets that let you use it too. But yeah, that's all I got about that. Brian M says, just a tip. I chose a brightly colored Tangem set. Black and stealth is cool, but I fear losing them in dark corner of wallet, purse, safe, etc. Yeah, and it really depends. I mean, how you use your cards. If you travel with your cards, there are arguments for using a stealth wallet. And then you just prove that there's an argument for using something brightly colored. So yeah, it's really just a personal preference. Personally, I really enjoy the stealth wallet. I like that there's no branding on it. And I really enjoy the ring because it's also stealth. It's just a black metallic ring. And where I live, a lot of men wear this color of ring, just like a normal ring, not a Tangem ring. And there is branding in this ring, but I bet it's on the inside. So I'm trying to get, and you can't even see it. I mean, even if I look at it just here, you can barely see it because it's the same metallic color as a ring. You basically have to know that it's there to see it. A2Easy says, I assumed you could hold other coins in Cold Card. You can't. Cold Card is a Bitcoin only wallet. It only supports Bitcoin. Lorna says, reminding everyone to hit like. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. If you want to be notified when these live streams go on, I'll be trying to do one a week at the very least. Brian gave me a thumbs up. Um, Also, I've been sharing this on a couple live streams. It's pretty cool. But I got um, my 100,000 subscriber plaque, which my goal was never to get one of these plaques, but it kind of just happened. I woke up one day and we were at 100 subscribers. So shout out to all my subscribers. Thank you very much. And my goal is always to bring you as much value as possible, not just in free education, which I think is important, especially in today's world where a lot of stuff can be, blocked or trapped behind a paywall. Um, yeah, so I'm so thankful and grateful to God that He has allowed me um, to basically educate people and to help people using the power of the internet. And I'm grateful to all my subscribers and all my supporters on the channel because I wouldn't be here without all of you. So thank you very much. Just wanted to shout that out. Yanga's Corner says, I'm new to crypto. Order my Tangem wallet. Will receive it tomorrow. The email I will set on Tangem, is that the one I will use to transfer my crypto from the exchange? No. So Yanga, you don't use an email to transfer crypto, and you don't use an email to use a Tangem wallet. The way you transfer crypto, you're going to need to watch some videos on this because it's really a visual process. I will quickly explain it, and then I will give you some resources that should help you. But the way you transfer crypto is you go to the receiving wallet. So that's going to be your Tangem wallet. So you'll open the Tangem wallet app. You're going to select the cryptocurrency you want to receive in your Tangem wallet, and then you press the receive button. From there, you're going to copy that address. Just hit copy, and then you take that address over to the exchange. You hit the send button, and then it's going to have a place where you paste your wallet address. So you paste your Tangem wallet address there. Then you enter the amount of crypto you want to send. You hit send, and then you confirm the transaction. And then a bunch of stuff happens in the background that you don't need to worry about. And then after a few minutes, your crypto shows up on your Tangem wallet. Now, like I said, it's a little more involved than that, but not really. Like what I just explained is literally how you do it. But if you want a visual, go to YouTube and type in how to send crypto Tangem wallet, and my video will pop up. And it will show you both how to send and receive crypto. Make sure to watch the entire video because I think I show a couple different ways of sending crypto, like from one wallet to another, as well as from an exchange to Tangem. So I suggest going and watching that video, and that'll help you out. Also, Yanga, thank you for that was a good question, by the way. And I just want to highlight that even though you're new to crypto, you're already on the right track, getting a cold wallet and securing your crypto. So props to you for just taking initiative and doing things the right way. I just want to say that. Darren says, can I ask, please, which exchange you personally use to buy and sell your crypto? I use Kraken. I've used a lot of exchanges over the years. I've used Coinbase, Gemini, Crypto.com. I've used Uphold a little bit. And then years ago, like 2020, I was using, there's the first exchange I ever used. I don't even think it exists anymore. I think it shut down. Anyways, Kraken is the current exchange I've used. By far, it's been my favorite exchange I've ever used. They've given me no issues. There was one issue I had with withdrawing my crypto to my bank account, which was something that I did. I basically used the same bank account on multiple Kraken accounts, which caused some issues. But they emailed me immediately, told me why they had frozen the withdrawal, and then told me what I needed to do to continue with the withdrawal, and basically just send them some documents. And within an hour, everything was good. So their customer support was actually insane, and I'm not even a paying customer. Whereas with an exchange like Coinbase, in my experience, their customer service is complete trash unless you're a paying member. So yeah, Kraken is what I use. However, I don't know where you're located, Darren, but in the United States, the only state Kraken isn't available in is New York. So Fasal says, Also, shout out Pasal for being on the live stream today and yesterday and last week. Hi, Skrilla. That would be cool if Tangem added support for different network addresses for crypto. Oh, yeah. Like I said, stay tuned. They are still working on multiple receiving address support, but I think something is coming much sooner that will be equally, maybe even more awesome. That's all I can say. So, yeah, the cool thing about Tangem is like anytime these super cool features are released, all you have to do to get the new features is update the Tangem app on your phone. And I found out that a lot of you just have the automatic app update on your phone turned on, so you don't even have to update your apps; it does it automatically. And that's one of my favorite things about Tangem is like anytime you need access to new these new features or new updates or new crypto support, the only thing you need to do is update your app. So super convenient. Yenga's Corner said, "Thank you. I started the journey after watching your videos. They are the most easy to understand for someone who is not techie like me. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I'm super happy to hear that because that's literally my goal. I try to break it down in a way that I best understand it in hopes that it helps other people understand it because um, crypto is extremely confusing. Even to me, I'm not an expert or anything. I just simply share what I learn and then I try to explain it in a way that makes the most sense to me, hoping that it helps others. So I appreciate you sharing that. And yeah. Ivan says he got a Tangem wallet and he doesn't think he'll go back. Tangem really is that good. It's just so enjoyable to use and it's so easy to use. So I get why you say that, Ivan, and you're not the first person to say that, and you probably won't be the last. Darren says, "Thank you for answering my question. Love your channel." Well, thank you for the question, Darren. I wouldn't be here on the live stream without your questions. I just got to check something here on my phone. Okay. Oh, yeah, I better do that. I'm actually in my Tangem app right now. Dun, 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 dun. Huh, interesting. Okay, well, anyways. Ivan said, "Thanks for the helpful Tangem info vids. You are absolutely welcome. Thanks for joining the live stream." Let's see what we got going on here. Sorry, I'm just checking a couple things on my phone. Also, I have some exciting news today. I'm waiting for delivery from FedEx. I am receiving the Solana Seeker phone, which is a crypto wallet phone for Solana. So yeah, I'm super excited to get that and test it out and review it on the channel. So if you want to see me use a crypto phone, make sure you're subscribed because that review will be coming soon. Yenga's Corner said, "When buying Bitcoin, if I use the function of limit, how does that work?" Yenga, I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Like if you're doing a limit buy, you can set limits to so that the exchange will automatically purchase the Bitcoin at certain limits. This could be a certain price target for Bitcoin when it either reaches a certain low. You could also set it to sell when it reaches a certain high price. That's kind of how that limit works. When I'm buying Bitcoin, personally, I just buy it at the market price. I don't set limits or anything like that, but you can do it however you want. Yeah, the limit buy price. Again, when you set the limit, it will only buy the Bitcoin once it reaches that target, if it reaches that target. So that's how that works. Bitcoin Barber says, "Love your channel and the way you dissemination your information." All right, thank you very much. BP says, "You promoted SafePal X1 a while back. Do you have used one yourself? I'd like to know how to get the most out of mine because it uses Binance on the back end to execute most of the trades." Yeah, I obviously have the SafePal X1. That's how I was able to do a review. And I think it's a fine wallet. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with using Binance to execute most of the trades. That's probably a good thing because you probably get better rates that way. Um, but it's not a wallet that I use super often. I find myself using Tangem and Ledger more, but I'm not sure what more you're looking to get out of it. I mean, it sounds like you're using it just fine. So, I mean, I don't know if I have much to add there. Okay, answered that question. Ivan says, is the energy consumption debate around Bitcoin mining overrated compared to the benefits it brings? I'm not really knowledgeable on Bitcoin energy consumption, so I don't think I can give you an answer on that. And I don't know if there is an answer on that. Now, if you're talking about is it worth mining Bitcoin in today's age, I don't think it is unless you have like an army of computers, like you have multiple hundreds of computers mining Bitcoin. It really depends on where you live. A lot of places have expensive electricity, so you usually end up paying more in the electric bill than in Bitcoin that you mine. Also, mining Bitcoin today is a lot more labor intensive for the systems and on the network and the energy it consumes than when Bitcoin first came out. So yeah, you just don't get a lot of Bitcoin when you mine, and you probably end up spending more in electricity. I'm not sure that's what you meant, but that's kind of where my knowledge is when it comes to Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin Barber says, and just to be sure I can hold Bitcoin and XRP on the same wallet. Yes, you can, assuming the wallet you're using supports those specific cryptocurrencies, which something like Tangem does support both of those. Ivan says, are ETFs overrated as a driver for Bitcoin adoption? This isn't something I usually touch on, but I don't see why it would be overrated. I think at this point, any kind of adoption in crypto that lowers the barrier to entry is a step in the right direction as far as like mass adoption. All right, but we've been doing this live stream for almost 2.5 hours. I promised myself I was going to keep it under an hour and a half today. Doesn't look like I did that. So, yeah, thank you everyone for joining the live stream. If you have any questions, feel free to, if you're watching this later, just drop a comment and I will answer them. But yeah, thank you so much. Thanks, Ivan. I appreciate you all joining me here. And God bless and peace out. I'll see you in the next one.